All right. So let's see. We'll talk. How about that Trump ruling? How about Colorado? What's going on here? What's the real play? I know Michael's got a great theory on this.
They want to delegitimize the court so that they can add more members to it. That would be my simple explanation.
Delegitimize the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, not the Colorado Supreme Court.
Yeah, there's already momentum to add. They call it packing the court, add members to the court. If they file this lawsuit, which they know is frivolous because it's so ridiculous, then it goes to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court shuts it down very quickly, probably in February, and then the Democrats can go, see, the Supreme Court is political. They're Trump sycophants, and we need to add more members.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Do they think that? Surely they think that far ahead, right?
Yeah, probably further.
Uh-oh. What's after that?
I don't know. I just the maybe unintended consequences is independence. I'm a conservative libertarian kind of independent. I'll vote for whoever I think the best candidate is. They're just cementing my support for Trump. It's like they're just solidifying it. And I think you see that in all the polls. Like, this is ridiculous. It says, and I quote from article or a 14th Amendment, if you just scroll past section 3 where it talks about insurrection, what they're charging him on, section 5 says, quote, the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article, period. Not the state courts, not the Supreme Court, the Congress. So if there's an insurrection and it disqualifies someone, Congress has to lay out legislation that says this was an insurrection, this disqualifies Trump, not the Colorado Supreme Court. It's just
we've deferred so much power to the Supreme Court, to the bureaucracy of the rule-making bureaucracy over the years. It's not surprising that these people are taking full advantage of the fact that Congress does not act or do anything, and they just kind of run roughshod over it. I mean, the amount of power we've given the courts and the bureaucracy and have taken from Congress and essentially the people, because you were given it to these unelected people, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and this is the result of it.
So what happens when neither Biden nor Trump are on the ballot?
Then we get, I guess, Nikki Haley and Gavin Newsom. I don't know. I don't know. So the Supreme Court, all right, the Supreme Court says, what are you talking about, Colorado? It's fine. Like, what are you doing? He's fine. He can run. He's fine. And then all the other states, they'll try to find other ways to do the exact same thing, right? Surely they're not going to just give up there. Or maybe they go the whole court packing route. Or maybe it gets so upsetting for everybody that, someone goes and pulls the trigger because they're stopping Hitler, right? What happens then? And Biden is, I don't know. Who knows what Biden's doing at this point? He can barely walk. Well, I think we're going to see this retaliation because I saw some talk. Was it Lieutenant Governor saying, "Oh, we should pull Biden off the ballot in Texas"? I feel like this is kind of like the impeachment thing. When you start impeaching folks for kind of reasons that are less than impeachment worthy, you start seeing it go back and forth, back and forth. Well, I think you see this now. You're going to start seeing people be like, "Oh, we should move him off the ballot because he's not fixing the border," or "We should move this person off this ballot because he said something mean." And we're just going to start seeing it happen left and right. And I guess until the Supreme Court actually acts and kind of draws a line in the sand, it's going to happen. And maybe, they're supposed to act because this is getting kicked up to them now. So maybe they nip this in the bud before we even get down that road. But this is certainly going to start a chain of events. If they allow this to stand, it'll start this chain of events where people are doing that.
Now, Michael, they know that there are plenty of people like you, independents, quote unquote, that heavy, who this is just sort of solidifying Trump. That you're not unique in that. I'm sorry to say, Michael, you're unique in many ways, but not in that way. No. Now, they know this. They know it wholeheartedly. It's all over the place. Are they doing this, do you think, because, all right, we're actually going to keep Trump on. He's the guy we want to run against because he's the only one that we can rile up our base against. He's the only one that Democrats will 100%, all of the Democrats, all of them will vote against Trump. I don't know if that's true, but maybe that's what they're thinking.
I think that's their theory. I think there are flaws in their theory. We're not dealing with geniuses here. I think they're pot committed more than anything. Like they've already gone pot committed.
What does that mean?
It's a poker term where you've put in so much of your stack, even if you're bluffing, you got to just put it all in.
Oh, pot committed. Okay.
Yeah.
In New Jersey, we call that deny till you die. You just kind of like stick with whatever it is and you just keep going.
Yeah, I think a little bit of it is just they're pot committed. They've decided the strategy is try to make everybody think Trump is Hitler, and they just got to go full-fledged on that. I don't or maybe they're right. Maybe the turnout will be so high that gives them the best chance to win. Gives them the best chance to win in November. I just don't, what is their alternative to doing everything they can? I mean, they've indicted him, the Democrats, man, and I don't mean this about my Democrat friends, but just like the national Democrats, like they've indicted him 4 times for, stupid stuff. Now they're trying to take him off the ballot. And then on their side, they just canceled 4 primaries on the Democratic side in Florida, Tennessee, and a couple other states.
Wait, what?
Yeah. These people there's something wrong with them.
What do you mean
my Democrat friends. They will not hold primary elections on the Democratic side in 4 states.
Wait, even for down ballot candidates or just for presidential elections?
Presidential.
Okay.
Presidential.
What's the reasoning?
Because they don't have candidates and they're claiming that Biden's their nominee. So they're just like taking the opportunity from anyone else.
Because Biden is going to save democracy.
Is it Marianne Williamson or whatever? Crystal lady?
Dean Phillips.
Aren't they also?
Uyghur.
I forgot about Cenk.
Yeah.
But they have those. All the primaries have these barriers to entry, and I don't know if these people qualify or don't qualify, whatever the case may be. But I'm sure they're using some sort of loose justification. Not that it's right, but they're trying to say that it. But I mean, it's not very different from Trump being like, well, I guess this was more the RNC saying like, we're not going to have a platform. Our platform's Trump's platform. Like it's just like, okay, great, thanks.
Well, you're not disenfranchising voters.
I mean, you are, because you have people who go to the convention to vote on what their platform's going to be.
Oh, well, you're disenfranchising.
And they're elected by the voters at the primary election.
You're disenfranchising the nerds that go to those.
No, you vote for these people in your primaries to go and represent you. Yes, they are nerds.
Well, no, I'm kidding. It's fine. Whatever. Vivek, you guys know Vivek. It rhymes with cake. He put out a tweet that I think is alluding to all of this, and it's not very straightforward. And I'm wondering if you guys can pick it apart a little bit. I have a theory about who he's talking about. He says, if you really think they, and again, air quotes, they are going to let either Trump or Biden get anywhere near the finish line, open your eyes, folks. There's something deeper going on. It's staring us right in the face. What does that mean?
The deep state.
No, but okay, but who are they going to put up? It's not Trump.
I mean, why would they be fearful of Biden getting to the finish line? Like, why would anybody be fearful of that? I don't know.
Why would that's because he can't win?
Well, I mean, okay, but if the deep state can do all that, they can't steal an election.
I think
make him win.
I think he's talking. Well, they did it once. Am I right? I think that they. I think he's talking about Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
You think Nikki Haley's doing it?
No. Is Nikki Haley stealing the election? I don't know.
Wait. What do you mean he's talking about Nikki Haley? I mean,
he's saying you're crazy if you think it's going to be Trump v. Biden come election time. It's actually going to be Nikki Haley v. Hillary, and you're not actually going to have a choice because they're the same person.
Why do you keep bringing up Hillary? It's not Hillary
because he thinks she's one of the potential people who's going to be
There's
nominated.
no chance that witch is getting anywhere near another campaign.
Okay,
you never know. I mean,
there's no way, Michael.
I disagree.
She thinks she deserves to be president. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
No, sure. Yeah. Okay, fine. She thinks that she can think that all day long, but there's no possible way that they're going to let her run.
There is no possible way. You can make the case that it's a low probability, but it's not a 0% chance.
Okay. I'm speaking colloquially. All right. I'm not like, this is not a data class, a science class. I'm not speaking in absolutes. Yes. When I say there's no possible way, I'm not.
It's possible, but it's unlikely.
I know it's possible.
So we're saying the same thing.
All of the other Democrats could die, and it would be Hillary Clinton would be the only one. It's possible, I guess.
She already has a body count.
She does, and we're not. And
I don't know that before you go there, Brian. I don't know. I mean, yes, Hillary Clinton and Nikki Haley are very similar. I think Vivek is just trying to like. I know that Vivek is very popular among people. He just something about him I do like, but then it does not seem authentic.
Well, what do you think about this? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I hear that a lot from people, right? He says all the right things, and it's hard to trust him, and all of a sudden, it seems too polished, and he's sort of weaselly, whatever. I get it. Okay, fine. But on this Colorado thing, he's like, all right, I'm out. I'm not going to be in the Colorado primary because I don't think that that's right. I'm going to protest this decision by taking my name off the list. If he has a chance to win, he doesn't want to win that way, right?
Well, how
many? Okay, you don't know that. How many Trump voters would go for Vivek over Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis?
No, I don't think enough to make him win.
5? You would, right? Me too, right? And I don't know that it's enough, but still, it's the right thing to do. He's spent a lot of money and a lot of time, trying to get support, and I think that's the stand-up right thing to do.
To pull yourself off the ballot.
In that case, yes.
I don't know. I don't.
You win by asterisk.
But you're pulling yourself off the ballot. 1, you're giving primary voters fewer options, and 2, you're just doing it because you just want to do something. He's not actually doing it because he thinks it's like the principled stance. He's doing it because it's going to appeal to Trump voters, because he's going to be the one like, oh, I'm standing with Trump.
What's a Trump voter?
And so if they all pull themselves off the ballot and then leave Chris Christie, like, okay, what is in that moment? What does proving a point mean? Like, why?
We'll get an election map with Chris Christie arms up. We won.
Here's the thing that you're missing here, Brad. Vivek has nothing to lose.
Okay.
Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis have some delusion still in their minds that they can beat Trump in a primary. Vivek understands that he can't. So he understands power politics. By doing that, he's just drawing attention to himself and forcing Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley into an untenable position.
Yes.
Because they either have to follow him where he shows himself as the leader, or they have to defy him and defy Trump voters in the process. So they're stuck with 2 bad choices. He gets strategy, and he has nothing to lose because I don't think he thinks he's going to win. He's making a longer term play. The other 2 are in a bad position, and he created that scenario by doing that.
What he's doing is he's making them either say, like you said, that he's the leader and they're going to follow his lead, or that they're the establishment working to under whatever Trump. And so the problem is that, and undergird is not the right word there. I couldn't think of the word I was looking for. The problem is that DeSantis, like the second he did that, he's like, DeSantis needs to get out. It's like, why? Like, if you're doing that because you're standing on a principled stance, then do that. Why are you now pressuring DeSantis to get out? So that he follows you, or so that you can then start lobbing insults at him? Like, what is the point of this? What is the point of this? And so that's my frustration. Like, if you actually believe this is a problem, you stay in the race. If you believe this is a problem and you don't think Trump should be the nominee, which you obviously don't think so because you're running against him, then you stay in the race and you win, and then you fix this problem of the deep state trying to get people out. You don't pull yourself out and then let the deep state win.
And here's a question. Did it accomplish his goal, though?
We don't know yet. Maybe.
Oh,
right?
I totally think it did. Did you see Ron DeSantis mumbling on TV about?
No, I saw the clip. I saw the screenshot of it. I didn't see it though. But no, you're right. It did accomplish his goal one way or the other, because either way, they're forced to make a choice, and neither of those choices look good for them. So yes, his goal was accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that y'all are both kind of proving my point in different ways.
Wait, what's your point?
Well, but the point is against your point. Yours that you don't trust him, you don't like him. He's not really like, So Michael's saying that, okay, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, they still have this delusional thought that they can win and take power. There's a lot of narcissism there, right? and don't get me wrong, I'm sure Vivek is plenty narcissistic. I don't care, but he understands reality, right? He understands I'm not going to beat Trump, right? I can actually pull out and I can, do it's the right thing to do, I think, right? He's not delusional. He's not a crazy person. He doesn't think that he's, he can rule that he's the only person that can, I don't know. It seems like if you're in it, Michael, Charles, you say if you're in it, you're trying to win. You think that you should be the nominee, right? But he's pulling himself out. So I don't know how you can pull yourself out and also think you're the nominee.
Well, no. I mean, if you're in the race in general, if you're in the primary running against Donald Trump, the reason you are doing so is because outwardly you're projecting that you disagree with him on something and don't think he should be the nominee. That is why he's in it.
Or you want to sell bucks, or you want to be VP, or you want to be
right. But outwardly, you're projecting that you disagree with him on something. Otherwise, you would do something else. Like you would just be his number one spokesperson or something like that. But like outwardly, the projection is that you bring something to the table that these other candidates don't, and that is why you're running. I think he pulled himself out because a part of that broader strategy is to take himself out of this and still appeal to Trump voters. So like, it's not that he's pulling himself out because he's on this principled stance. He's pulling himself out because it's a part of a broader strategy. And I don't trust him necessarily. I think he says a lot of the right things, but when I watch him and when I see what he says and when I see how he moves, it is not genuine. It is very calculated every step of the way. Do I think he believes some of the stuff he says? Sure, I do. But I think it's also similar to how Trump originally said, like, if I was years ago in the 90s or whatever, if I was going to run for president, I'd run as a Republican because they're stupid or something like that, whatever he said. It's this idea that he's like, I can appeal to this base. This is what I need to say, do, and how I need to act. This is the vest I need to put on with my logo right here. I need to wear these boots. I need to go to these primary states. He's moving through all these actions because he knows what he needs to do.
I think you're describing a candidate for president.
Yes, I am, but I'm
well, not Nikki Haley. She just takes up wildly unpopular positions without even any amount of hesitation within the Republican Party. I think he is describing it, and I think that dynamic exists. But what Trump changed about the Republican Party in a large way was that the figurehead actually represents the interest of the voters, whereas prior to him, I think there was a larger disconnect between what Republican primary voters actually want and how the leadership is governing. And I actually think what Trump did is he brought it a little bit closer. Is that inauthentic, or is that, if on giving him the benefit of the doubt, that's like, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Well, I think when he started, he was just saying whatever he felt and whatever he believed in that moment. And that's what that rawness and that authenticity is, I think, what pulled people towards him. It wasn't all poll tested. It wasn't all this. He was like, this is what I believe. It happens to align with a very large, angry portion of this base. I'm going to have to check off some boxes, but like, this is who I am. I don't think Vivek's doing the same thing. I think he's like, this is where the base is. This is what I need to say to appeal to them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And some of those things he believes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think he's talking about Nikki Haley.
I agree, probably.
I think that it seems like the establishment is pushing pretty hard for Nikki Haley. I get that in my gut.
I think so. I mean, you see all these posts lately of her meteoric rise in the polls and all this stuff. It's like, all right. It seems like that's what I might even think that the establishment might want Nikki Haley before they want Joe Biden. Mm-hmm.
Don't all speak at once, guys.
No, I agree. She's as Tucker Carlson put it, she's a creation of the oligarchs.
Well, there you go. When Tucker Carlson speaks about creation of the oligarchs, talking about aliens?
Might be, he won't tell us.
As oligarchs, where are those aliens from?
Oligarchia.
Nikki Haley is definitely not from this planet. For sure not. She's okay. We don't need to bash her. I'm not going to kick down. I'm going to kick sideways.
Well, no, I mean, I think you make a good point though about the aliens. Like, that's our next topic, right? I think you make a great point.
I mean, let's see, I think we can talk a little bit about aliens. There was I don't know,